3,000 years ago, the entire city of Jerusalem fit on this 12-acre hill. Here you can see part of the wall rebuilt by Nehemiah, the water tunnel dug by King Hezekiah, and the pool of Siloam, where Jesus healed a blind man. This is the city of David.
Welcome to the city of David. Good morning, my name is Miriam.
Today, it's one of Jerusalem's top tourist sites, with close to 500,000 visitors every year.
This is one of the most exciting places on earth. People from all over the world come to this place and for the first time understand that what they're reading in the text matches the archaeology in the ground.
The city of David is more than just a tourist attraction. It's also a live archaeological dig. The Bible says this is where King David built his palace, and one archaeologist says she's found it. For Eilat Mazar, digging is a family affair. In 1948, her grandfather, Benjamin Mazar, was the first archaeologist to get a digging permit in the new state of Israel. And when the Israelis recaptured Jerusalem in 1967, he started excavating the area around the Temple Mount. His granddaughter Eilat was working by his side when she was just 11 years old.
What I've learned from him, the major thing is that the Bible is part of our historical sources to be used and restudied and re-examined again and again. It doesn't object in any way to our scientific archaeological capability of using the best methods for excavations. It goes side by side and it fits beautifully, and it should.
Like her grandfather, Mazar is uncovering the Jerusalem of the Bible, layer by layer. In 2005, she started digging in the city of David with one goal in mind.
King David's palace. Well, I had my assumptions based on the evidence at that time. And then when I started the excavations, it was, of course, an open question.
It wasn't long before she found what she was looking for.
We saw the large walls of some structure, but they were so large that I said, wow, okay, forget about King David's palace. We're talking about a fortress here. We realized that this structure, as monumental and impressive as it is the first structure ever built in that spot. So the question, who built this structure and what was this structure built for?
Mazar soon found her answer.
We've got a marvelous, marvelous historical source, which called the Bible. The core of historical events surely are there.
2 Samuel 5:11 says the Phoenician king Hiram sent messengers to David and cedar trees and carpenters and masons, and they built David a house.
So it's a palace fortress, well built, for good reasons. This is most probably the palace that King Hiram built for King David. We know its date, which is around 1000, which is the time of King David. The Phoenician style of construction is quite emphasized. The Phoenicians are great builders, as we learn from our excavations in Phoenician sites.
Inside, the team found more evidence of royalty, from ancient seals used by court officials to a variety of carved ivory utensils, too expensive for a regular home, but perfect for a palace.
The major part of this structure is still hidden, needs to be excavated. What we have in hand is less than a quarter, I would say really much less.
Across the street from the city of David, Mazar is directing another dig as well. Just outside the Temple Mount, she found more royal ruins, this time from David's son, Solomon. In 2010, excavators revealed a giant wall more than 220 feet long and almost 20 feet high. Mazar says this is the city wall described in 1 Kings 3, which says that Solomon built the wall all around Jerusalem. It connected David's old city with Solomon's new temple.
We can really say that the biblical description of King Solomon building the wall of Jerusalem around suits so well what we see. This is the only place that a fortification line is needed. It's surrounding that area. It connects to the Temple Mount. It's everything that fits the biblical story.
Critics were quick to dispute Mazar's conclusion, but she had carbon dating on her side. Pottery shards found at the ground floor dated to the 10th century BC, when Solomon was king.
Sometime in the late 10th century, early 9th century, the king of Jerusalem built a most highly skilled fortification that indicated it's a strong regime, centralized, with great abilities. But then we have this biblical story that tells about King Solomon doing the same thing. So he did, and then like 50 years later, some other king did the same thing. So I think we can drop all these, fighting against the Bible. The reality was that the sophisticated fortification was built by King Solomon. And this is only part of it, and it's very impressive.
Inside the wall were more clues pointing to King Solomon. 1 Kings 4:7 says that he had 12 governors who provided food for the king and his household. And inside the gate, Mazar's team found evidence of their work. Jar handles with seals inscribed, "To the King," and large clay jars for storing grain. Mazar believes they came from the royal bakery.
On one of the vessels, there is an inscription, incision in ancient Hebrew, saying that Lesar Ha'o, meaning to the minister that was in charge of the ofin, in Hebrew, which bakery.
Mazar's hunt for the house of David isn't over yet. Next on her agenda is the palace of King Solomon, which she believes is just north of this wall.
Whatever I'll be able to contribute and add to the research of ancient Jerusalem, this is my huge privilege. There is only one Jerusalem in the world, but it's not like I'll start or end anything. We are only at the beginning of it, and it's going to be generations to come.